the OutQ newsroom, I'm Tim Curran with these gay community headlines. It appears it was the owners of the Washington Blade and the Southern Voice who decided to shut down their newspapers this week, not the Small Business Administration, as some had speculated. National political correspondent Lisa Keene has this exclusive report.
Some people thought it was the U.S. Small Business Administration that pulled the plug on the Washington Blade and the Southern Voice this week, but turns out that's not true. Small Business Administration spokesperson Mike Stamler acknowledged the SBA did receive offers to buy the two papers from Window Media and its business ally Unite Media. But Stamler said the decision to decline those offers was entirely left to Window Media and Unite, not the SBA. The Small Business Administration had loaned $39 million to the Avalon Equity Fund, an investment firm, and Avalon turned around and spent $7 million to buy a majority interest in Window Media and Unite Media to obtain an interest in those publishing companies. The SBA did put Avalon into receivership when Avalon's own assets dropped below a required level for its SBA loan, but it was Window and Unite that made the decision to cease publishing on November 15. The news comes as at least two investors said they'd expressed interest in buying the newspapers. The former owner of the Southern Voice, Chris Cash, told Gay City News she spoke to the SBA's attorneys in the matter, and openly gay Northern Virginia News Weekly publisher Nicholas Benton said he was told in September that his bid to acquire the Washington Blade had been successful. Benton said he was blindsided by the news Monday that the paper had closed in bankruptcy. Lisa Keene, OutQ News.
While U.S. census takers are preparing to count the number of gay marriages for the first time next year, census officials in the U.K. are considering going a step further and asking everyone about their sexual orientation. Aaron McQuaid reports.
Census officials in the UK have in the past rejected calls to ask people to identify themselves by sexual orientation, the way they do by gender, race, and religion, calling it too controversial. But the Times of London reports ministers working for Harriet Harman are reconsidering the issue. Harman is the deputy leader of the UK's Labour Party, who is in charge of equality policy. British government watchdog Equality and Human Rights Commission strongly supports the idea, saying that not asking the question would be an indicator of invisibility and a major obstacle to measuring progress on tackling discrimination. But the Times reports the Office of National Statistics, which draws up the census questionnaire, says sexuality is too complex to be boiled down to a single question and opposes asking it. Many conservatives also oppose the question, calling it a matter of privacy. Last month, the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force launched a campaign called Queer the Census, aimed at convincing U.S. officials to ask Americans what their sexual orientation is. They're giving away free bright pink stickers for people to attach to the back of their census envelopes that say, "Attention U.S. Census Bureau, it's time to count everyone." Aaron McQuaid, OutQ News.
Police in San Juan say they have arrested a suspect in the slaying of a teenager whose decapitated remains were found along a road in southern Puerto Rico. Police Commandant Eliezer Colon says the man was detained at his home early Tuesday morning. The suspect has not been identified because he's not been formally charged. The burned and dismembered body of 19-year-old Jorge Steven Lopez was discovered Friday in a wooded area of the town of Calle. Authorities are looking into whether he may have been targeted because he was gay. Activist Pedro Julio Serrano called on authorities to treat the case as a hate crime if the investigation shows Lopez was killed because of his sexual orientation. I'm Tim Curran, OutQ News.